We finally have some leaked images of the Nikon Z6 Mark III, a camera that Nikon has finally come out and teased us about in this recent teaser video, stating that they will be announcing the Nikon Z6 Mark III on Monday, June the 17th at 8 AM Eastern Daylight Time. And here's our first image showing us the front of the camera, the dials, and a few buttons. And it's thanks to Nikon rumors, but you probably already figured that out for yourself. And this one here is a higher resolution image showing the top right of the camera. Didn't I tell you just a couple of days ago that we would get more leaked specifications and images of the Nikon Z6 Mark III, especially with the announcement coming on Monday? And sure enough, here today we got a couple of leaked images. But sadly, along with these leaked images, we didn't get any further leaked specifications, no confirmation or validation of previous leaked, well, specifications. But the images do give us a bit of an insight into the Nikon Z6 Mark III. Now, the first obvious difference that we see with this camera is the badging. The badge is definitely different with the big Z in the top right, but no mention of the model number or the version. And this one here, our second image, gives us an indication of what dials this camera is going to have, or some of the buttons. A top-down view would be better, but sadly, it doesn't give us any indication of any new capabilities, dials, or buttons. And if we take a look at this image of the Nikon Z6 Mark II, we can see that, well, it looks pretty much the same as the Nikon Z6 Mark III. And putting them side by side right here, well, you can see that the texture is a little bit different. The Nikon Z6 Mark III looks a little bit more, well, I think it's got a slightly better design, better texture, better lines, but otherwise in terms of buttons, dials, and capabilities, we can't really distinguish any enhancements. And while we do have a rather long list of leaked specifications of the Nikon Z6 Mark III, specifications that I covered off in a previous video published just a couple of days ago. This one right here, or maybe the graphic is right here, but we've more or less been seeing the same leaked specifications going back to January, with them being tweaked a little bit in March, then April. Not a lot has changed. We haven't received any further validation, so I'm not going to go over and cover those again here, but if you do want to find out what the latest leaked specifications are on the Nikon Z6 Mark III, then go ahead and watch this video, or this one here, because I go into details comparing the Nikon Z6 Mark III to its core competitors, the Canon EOS R6 Mark II and the Sony a7 IV. But there is one question I'd like to ask you. Now, the Nikon Z6, the Canon EOS R6 are both 24 megapixel censored cameras. They're both full frame cameras. The Sony a7 IV, it's a full frame camera as well, but it pushes up to 33 frames per second, 33 megapixels. For you as a photographer or even a videographer, does this matter a lot to you? And there's no right or wrong here. It's based on what you shoot, what sort of value you need out of the camera, what capabilities you need. Are you fine with 24 megapixels? Would you prefer to see a higher resolution? Or are you fine at 24, would prefer to see 26? Or, for example, are you just, this is a no-go for you? You're not willing to buy a camera that only has 24 megapixels. And to help other viewers, don't just tell us that no, 24 isn't good enough or 24 is good enough, but tell us what you shoot, because a lot of viewers, after watching my video, will spend a lot of time going through the comments, and they can learn from your opinions. But I want to talk a little bit about FOMO, because there's certainly a bit of fear of missing out, and some of us, myself inclusive at times, we are easily distracted by shiny objects. Yeah, little shiny objects here. And of course, the latest and greatest, like the Nikon Z6 Mark III with an announcement just a couple of days away, has us thinking that, well, let's at least wait and see what this camera is about before I decide on what to purchase. But you should really take a look at some of the deals on right now. If you're a Nikon customer, then take a look at the Nikon Z6, the predecessor, the Mark II. It's $400 off at $1,596. And the Nikon Z7 Mark II, well, it's got an even bigger deal, $700 off. And the Nikon Z8, it's $500 off. And that's just Nikon. If we were looking at Canon, if you're a Canon customer and you're just tuning in to see what the competition is up to, the R5, $2,899. $1,000 off its introductory price. And I would say almost every single Canon camera is on sale right now. Sony, nope, they took their sales off. They had a few sales on, but Canon, Nikon, in terms of camera bodies and lenses, there's an awful lot of sales on right now. So as much as I love getting the latest and greatest gear, and as much as I'd love to see you use the smart pre-order links in the description down below, these guys right here, you can also benefit from the incredible deals that are on right now. And I do have links to all of these in the description down below. But now we're worried about these smart pre-order links. Why do I have them? Well, for a very simple reason, is we have an announcement on Monday. And from what we've seen with every other camera or even lens, if it's in demand, it sells out pretty quickly. And you can have trouble getting it for months on end. All the problems with 2020 are out of the way, but this lens here, the Canon RF 200 to 800, I pre-ordered that on November the 2nd. There are people that pre-ordered that same day that still don't have that lens. It's absolutely ridiculous. So if you're interested in the Nikon Z6 Mark III, but you're on the fence, you're not sure, what I recommend is go ahead and copy down these links, bookmark them in your browser. They're not going to be effective right now. They're just going to show you Nikon Z6 Mark II links. But once the embargo is lifted, it's going to show you every single package available. Body alone, body with a kit lens if offered by Nikon. And then Adorama and B&H will also offer their own kit packages, maybe giving you a choice of different lenses, storage cards, and camera bags. And what these links will do, because they show you every single kit package available at Adorama or B&H, you can see all the options very quickly, click pre-order, and it can save you anywhere from 5 to 15 seconds. And if you like to spend a little bit more time looking at things, well, it can save you a bit more time. And what that time savings does is gets you further into the queue so you can have your camera before, well, everybody else. And if you decide not to get it, as long as you cancel the order before the shipping date, you don't have to pay anything. And, you know, I never used to do pre-orders. I thought it was a stupid thing because I didn't get any benefit. I didn't save any money. And then on the day that the product was available, there was always plenty. Yeah, the good old days. The good old days. Yeah. But again, that's why I also recommend taking a look at what's on sale. I've got some 20 or 30 links down below. We have a bunch of pre-orders for cameras that were announced, like the C400, the RF 15mm, 35mm f1.4, and the Panasonic GH7. And we have a ton of sales. And you can save an awful lot in a world where energy prices are going up, transportation, food, energy, and housing. If you're willing not to buy the latest and greatest, you can still buy new and save yourself a ton of money. Anyhow, I just wanted to remind you that I do have a live stream on Monday morning, 1 hour, starting 1 hour before Nikon's announcement. And I'll have my guest panel where we'll talk about the latest leak specifications. We might even bring you more leak specifications at the time, any images and pricing that we have. And we're going to ask a very simple question. Who is this camera really designed for? Yes, it's aimed at people who are in the same market as the R6 Mark II and the A7 IV. But what type of people are they? What are they interested in? And what are my guest panel, what are they interested in? And then as soon as the announcement kicks over, we'll cover that live. I'll let you know as soon as the embargo is lifted so you can go ahead and pre-order. And I'm working very hard, as it is right now, to have somebody who's got their hands on with a camera. So we can do what we did before with the Nikon Z8 and other cameras, where instead of just looking at reviews and previews, we can actually have somebody online live to field your questions, and that's ideal. Oops. You know what, just give me a moment. I'm expecting a package today, and I just heard the doorbell ring. I have a package here. I'm a bit of a dumbass. I should have brought my glasses down with me because I can't even tell who it's from. But it's got an interesting size to it, doesn't it? I would say, well, my hand is about 8 inches long, so it's about 7 inches high. 8. About a foot long. And about 10 inches this way. Got a bit of weight to it. What do you think this could be? Oh, I wish I could read that, even from a distance. I'm shooting in a very low light situation. This studio here, the lights are very low, they're dimmed down, and the reason for that is quite simple. The lens I'm shooting with, the 50mm f1.2, is not the limitation because I can go all the way to f1.2. I think it's set to f2.5, but no, it wouldn't be f2.5. That doesn't make any sense. Probably, well, in around, I don't know, 3.2. I'm at a loss. I'm brain fried right now. But you see these little lights here that I have behind the lenses. They are really low powered. And I could boost the power up a little bit more, but then the problem is they don't last as long. So I've got these dialed down low. So the fill light and the key light and the backlight here, they're all designed to give me enough light to complement these guys. So you actually get enough of a glow here. And unfortunately, that's not enough light for me to be able to read small print. And that's a bit of a problem. And the laptop that I do have down here, it's right here, the text is big enough that I can see it and read it no problem. One mention about these lights, so these are the Ulanzi RGB lights. I've done a video review of them, and I want to give you guys a bit of an update. The original ones, which look like this, where the switch is on the back, these are great. I've had them for, I think, something like 4 years, and they don't last as long as they used to, but they're still working very well. But the newer ones, I got about 6 of these. The switch is on the side. They're more powerful. I've had all but one of these fail on me in some way whatsoever. Now, I think 3 of them, the screen just went. And as I was setting up here just a little while ago, the red one, oh, see, it's just died on me right here. That's annoying. Can I get it to go back on? Nope. There we go. Now it's on. I would have it on, and it started to hiss and buzz. And I had that with a previous lens, or light. So 5 of 6 of them that have failed. It's really, really bad. I put a note in that review video right at the bottom of the description, right at the top of the description, saying as much. I reached out to the company. They said they'd send me some more, and they didn't. I haven't heard back, and I sent like 2 or 3 emails, and I'm tired of that. But yeah, the newer ones, if you're interested, like I said, the older ones with the switch on the back, they're terrific, but the new ones, just terrible QA, QC on them, which is too bad because I love the features. I love the price point of around $20. I think they're great. But yeah, I'm definitely not happy with how long they've lasted. But anyhow, Monday, June the 17th at 7 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, I'm going to start my live stream. We're going to cover it live. Depending on how long my guest is able to stay, we'll probably go from 8 o'clock till 9 o'clock. And if there's enough of you viewing, we might go a little bit longer because I actually have the day off and I'm really excited to host that live stream. So it's an early one. Can you believe it? Monday morning, not Tuesday, Monday morning, we're having an announcement. I think Nikon likes to do that every now and then. They like to change up the date a little bit. But anyhow, thank you so much for watching. If you want to stay up to date on the latest and greatest, consider subscribing and choosing all notifications. But you might also want to follow me on X because you see there's bits of information. Sometimes I'll just tweet it out before I create a video, or I might not even create a video, but I'm always tweeting out all sorts of information. But that's it for now. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have yourself a great day, a great weekend, and we'll see you live Monday morning at 7 a.m.